and welcome to Shell Point Today for Tuesday, August 9th. I'm Adam Brown. On today's show, we'll meet one of the talented musicians that will be performing with the Southwest Florida Symphony Chamber Orchestra on August 25th. Young pianist Noah Waddell will join Kate Sullivan in the studio to talk about that summer concert. And we'll hear from Jeff Cory of the Legacy Foundation with his third and final interview with Craig Hirsch as they talk about estate planning. But first, we want everyone to be safe while traveling about the Shell Point campus, whether you're on foot or traveling by golf cart or vehicle. Please remember that the speed limit on the island is 15 miles per hour. With the busy traffic of people coming and leaving the medical center, it's important for all of us to watch out for each other. Driving above the 15 mile per hour speed limit near these high traffic areas puts everyone in danger, so please be aware of your surroundings and drive safely. It's time to get chic at Chico's. If you enjoy doing some island shopping, then come on out to Periwinkle Place on Sanibel. The staff will greet you and allow Shell Point's group to shop before their regular hours for a relaxed experience with plenty of help. You'll be able to visit other shops too and have lunch at the Blue Giraffe. Court pickups begin on the island this Thursday at 8:30, so make sure you sign up at either service desk. The summer concert series here at Shell Point has a bonus concert taking place Thursday, August 25th. The Southwest Florida Symphony Chamber Orchestra will fill the auditorium of the Village Church with the wonderful sounds of Mozart's Ein klein Nachtmusik, a little serenade, and other light popular classical pieces. One of the performers in the orchestra will be the young, talented pianist Noah Waddell. Kate Sullivan of Eagles Preserve visits with him now in our studios.
Hi, I'm Kate Sullivan, one of your neighbors from Eagles Preserve. On Thursday, August 25th at 7:30 p.m., the Southwest Florida Symphony returns to the Village Church. Tickets are $25 each and are available at either service desk or online at www.shellpoint.net. Maestro Nir Cabaretti is kicking off the 56th season early by adding this summer staycation concert. It's part of the small stage symphonies that are brought to different performance venues around the area. This concert will feature Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik. In addition to that, there will be a piano soloist performing, and we are fortunate enough to have that pianist with us here today. Some of you may recognize Noah Waddell, who has performed here several times in solo piano recitals. Welcome, Noah.
Hello.
Yeah, so you were born on Tax Day, April 15th, 2001. And you started playing the piano at?
When I was 7.
Okay, and then you got a little bit more serious at what age?
I started getting serious with the piano around 10.
Okay, that's when you entered your first competition?
Actually, that was my second competition, but that was when I really started enjoying the piano. Was after winning the Steinway piano competition.
Okay, so that was in 2011.
Correct.
Now, by my count, since 2011, that's 5 years, buddy, you have won more than 20 awards. Remarkable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So how do you qualify for these competitions?
Well, competitions require certain repertoire, and we have to follow those guidelines, and usually they require the Baroque, then the classical, and then the Romantic period.
Okay, so do you have to be recommended by a teacher, or do you just fill out the papers and say, I want to play?
Sometimes you have to be recommended, or no, not recommended by a teacher, but you can just fill out the papers like you said.
Okay. And how many competitors would you find at one of these competitions?
Well, in international competition, for example, thousands of competitors enter, but maybe no more than like 20 or 30 get into the competition, and then it's narrowed down to.
So I would imagine that winning one of these competitions brings opportunities and open doors that you would not have had prior to the winning. And one of those I would think would be like playing with symphonies that never heard of your name before.
Mm-hmm.
So you first played with a symphony when you were 11 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you reach the pedals?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. So how many symphonies have you played with, and which ones have you enjoyed most?
Well, this will be my second time with the Southwest Florida Symphony, but I've also performed with the Gulf Coast Symphony and Coral Gables Chamber Symphony and others.
Tampa?
Oh yeah, and the Tampa Bay Symphony. And that was really, my Tampa Bay Symphony was the debut, and it was just a great experience playing the Beethoven Third Piano Concerto, which is known for its intensity
big
and
piece.
powerfulness.
Yeah, okay. Now, to achieve this level of excellence requires a great deal of work. How much do you practice?
I usually practice about 5 hours a day.
Holy cow, when do you have time to do anything else?
Well, I work it in.
Now, do your dogs sit by your feet when you do this rehearsing?
My dogs, Bach and Mozart.
Bach and Mozart, excellent.
They jump up on the couch and they'll stay there for hours listening to me practice.
Nice.
They just love the music, and they even know how to play the piano sometimes.
Tell me about that. How does that work?
Well, my dog, Bach, he will jump up on the piano bench and he'll go into my lap and he'll start like depressing the keys. Like, he likes the sound, so
How cute.
I make it fun for him
Oh,
too.
that's great. What a nice thing to have happen. Where do you go to school?
I attend a private Christian school called Cross Point Academy, and I'm in 10th grade, and
Okay.
I really enjoy the school. It's just well-rounded, nice place, and just the teachers there are great.
Super. So 10th grade, a lot, big year. Some decisions start to be made, right? Looking at where you might go for further education, or deciding if you're going to go for further education. Big year this year and next for you. Good luck with that process.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, when you're not in school and you're not playing the piano, what do you like to do?
My hobbies that I enjoy are pickleball, fishing, tennis, and running.
Oh, excellent. Good. I know that when pickleball started here, some of the people went and talked to your dad about the right type of ball to have here. So your family has a big pickleball history, I think, don't they?
Yeah, my dad's the pickleball expert, pretty much.
Great. And can you beat him yet?
I've come close to beating my dad in
Okay.
pickleball, but my mom is really starting to get into pickleball.
Really good for her. Okay, now, when it's time just to shut down the engines and you just want to kick back, put your feet up, relax, and listen to some music, what's on your iPod playlist?
On my iPod playlist, I would probably say classical music is what I mostly listen to. I don't really listen to any other type of music, because classical music warms my heart the most and gives me most courage and strength to conquer anything in life, because it's a language that is very
Speaks to you.
speaks to you. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I agree. Not everybody does, but I agree. So what else are you good at in school besides music?
My favorite subject in school is history, world history.
Excellent. As part of your history and studying the classical music that you do you also study the history of the music and the composers and the era in which it is composed?
Actually, in my house, I have a library of music dictionaries called The Grove, and once in a while I will look up the composers and read about them and learn about dynamic markings and stuff like that.
Cool. Okay. So if nothing else, you can do pre-concert lectures.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you going to play for us here on August 25th?
I will perform with the Southwest Florida Symphony the Haydn Concerto in D major,
Okay.
and this will be all three movements.
All three movements. Now, that's ambitious. Okay, fantastic. And how long have you been preparing this Haydn piece?
I've been preparing this Haydn Concerto for about 3 months.
So it's a month each movement?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I understand that performing here on the 25th is the first of 3 nights that you'll be performing the same concert with the symphony. That's a heavy load.
Yeah,
You'll put your fingers on vacation after that?
maybe in fishing.
Okay, well, thanks so much for being here today, Noah.
Thank
and
you.
I
It's my
can't
pleasure.
wait to hear you again. Now, those of you who have heard Noah before know what to expect. Those of you who haven't, come on out and experience virtuosity rarely achieved in someone of this age. Hope to see you at the Village Church on Thursday, August 25th at 7:30. The 25 tickets are available at either service desk, online, or at the door. See you then.
Jeff Cory of the Legacy Foundation returns this week with attorney Craig Hirsch. This time they speak about healthcare documents and what's important here in the state of Florida should we become incapacitated or unable to handle our own healthcare decisions. Here's Jeff and Craig to discuss these matters.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cory from the Legacy Foundation here at Shell Point, and today we're with Craig Hirsch, an estate planning attorney in Fort Myers. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
Thank you, Jeff, for having me.
Today we're going to talk about healthcare documents and our residents at that stage of life where it's kind of important to make sure you've got everything in place. And we're going to talk about the documents that are important here in the state of Florida. So, Craig, the first document I think would be a designation of healthcare surrogate.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that document does for you?
Well, that's a great document that will name somebody to make healthcare decisions for me if I can't do so for myself. You know, it might be in an accident, God forbid, I'm in a car accident or something like that, and I can't give the doctor's permission to operate or to do some procedure. Well, my healthcare surrogate can do that for me.
Okay. And is the healthcare surrogate, is that someone that can make decisions for you anytime if you're still mentally capable of making those decisions on your own?
That's a great question. In fact, now the new Florida statute came out within the last couple of years. You have to check a box. Is the healthcare designation at any time? Is it only upon my incapacity? Or is it at some later date? Now, what I usually suggest to clients is, you know, if you trust that person to make healthcare decisions for you, go ahead and check it as any time, because then there's no question as to whether a precondition has been satisfied.
Okay. One of the other questions we hear all the time is, does the person need to be here? I guess they want to know whether the person should be at the hospital. So does it matter whether the child is in Seattle or they're here in Fort Myers?
Not really. You know, just so long as they can be reached, you know, cell phone, home
Right.
phone, they don't have to be here in Fort Myers. Most of our clients and residents here don't have family locally.
Right,
You know,
right.
they're somewhere up north, and that's just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Another document is a living will. I think a lot of people are familiar with the concept. Can you tell us a little bit? Your form, I know all forms are different. Your form's quite extensive in giving residents the ability to say what kind of heroic measures they would or would not like to have done to them in a terminal state. Can you tell us a little bit about the living will?
Yeah, thanks. That's a document, of course, that if I'm hooked up to all the life support and I've met the precondition under the statute, which is persistent vegetative state, end-stage terminal condition, 2 physicians have agreed that there's no hope of my recovery, and my healthcare surrogates agreed. So everybody's agreed that the heroics are only serving to keep me as maybe a vegetable in a hospital bed. Well, then you can say in your living will what you want to have happen. Do you want to remove the food and water tubes in those cases? Yes or no? Or do you want just the food tube removed or just the water tube? Do you want CPR to be continual? Do you want the mechanical breathing? Do you want kidney dialysis? That's what our forms do. What procedures do you want to have happen when they won't bring you back? They'll just artificially prolong the process of dying.
Now, we've all heard about HIPAA, and there's a new form, I say relatively new,
Yeah.
called a HIPAA release form.
HIPAA release.
And tell us a little bit about what that does, how it's a little different from the other
Well, you know, the
forms.
doctors, you know, they'll get in trouble. It's actually a 1996 law, but they really weren't cracking down on that until more recently, where if doctors violate your privacy, then they can have, you know, ramifications for that. So the HIPAA release just basically says who the doctors and hospitals are allowed to communicate with without violating your privacy rights. Now, another form, by the way, is a pre-need guardian form. We rarely use those, but that's a document where if I actually need to be adjudicated incapacitated, then who do I want to be my legal guardian? So that's another form. We use that, for example, we've had a couple of those where a resident was, or a client of ours was in danger of giving away all of his assets to somebody who I would call a gold digger. And you know, the only way to prevent him from doing that was to get him adjudicated incompetent so that his signature meant nothing. So a preemie guardian is another important healthcare document.
Okay. I've always thought that staying away from a guardianship would be a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to make sure your documents are up to date and you've got people appointed in those positions. So guardianship is not something that we look at as a positive.
No,
thing,
absolutely.
Right?
The preemie guardian is, in my 27 years of practice, I've only had to use it twice.
Wow.
So, but it's a good document to have in the arsenal in case you need it.
Yeah, great. Well, Craig, we appreciate you being with us today and sharing all your wisdom. And if you'd like more information about healthcare surrogates, living wills, and all the other advanced health directives, feel free to contact the Legacy Foundation office. We'd be happy to help you, as well as contacting Craig at the Shepherd Law Firm. Thanks for joining us today.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello, welcome to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley.
And I'm Caitlin Van Scoy.
And we're going to tell you the activities that we offer for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start bright and early with a Health Connections class today. Bend, Breathe, and Balance will be in the Health Club. At 8 o'clock, we have pickleball. That'll be at the game courts behind the Resident Activities Center. Round Robin Tennis will be at 8 o'clock down at the Woodlands. And at 8:15, we have the Stamp Ministry in the Stamp Room, which is down in the tunnel. The Ladies Golf Association will be at the Shell Point Golf Club at 8:30. And 9:15 is the time for open painting down in the art studio. Now shuffleboard will be played at the shuffleboard courts at 9:15. And we have match play mixed doubles tennis down at the Woodlands at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, the Susie Q boat heads to Dock Ford's or the Dixie Fish Company. Sign up is required for those trips. Through the Bible study will be in the Osprey Room at 10:15. And that concludes our morning. Here's Caitlin to tell you what's going on later today.
Thank you, Bev. We start at 12:30 with Mixed Progressive Bridge in the game room of the Woodlands. We move to 1:15 for the Knitters group. They'll be meeting in the Osprey Room. The Women's Ministries Prayer for Missions group will be meeting in the Hospitality Room of the Village Church at 1:15. We move to 1:45 for Fun and Fitness. That's in the Community Room of King's Crown. Balance Basics will be held in the Health Club. That's a Health Connections class, and that occurs at 2:45. Well, that's it for our day. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is jerk pork with yellow rice and peas. For dinner, they're featuring their a la carte menu, and the soup of the day is loaded potato. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a shrimp po' boy with coleslaw for $7.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are seared sirloin medallions for $16.95 or Creole shrimp and scallops for $18.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm employee chaplain Scott Eding, and I'm here with Peggy Zimmerman. And we want to tell you about an upcoming movie. So, Peggy, who's sponsoring this?
The Women's Ministry, the Spiritual Growth Committee.
Okay, and what movie are you going to be showing?
We're going to show Risen, and we're going to show it on the second Thursday in August, August 11th at 9:30 a.m., and it will be in the hospitality room.
Of the church, right? Yes. Okay, good. Good. So what can you tell us about this movie? Why should people come out?
Well, it's very different than, for example, The Passion of the Christ or The Robe. One of the things, it's told through the eyes of a non-believer, and it is, at times, I want to warn people, it is violent. Mm-hmm. It's told through the eyes of a Roman soldier, a Roman tribune, and persecuting Christians, and it does get violent.
Okay. So people are forewarned about that.
Mainly at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, why would they want to see it?
Well, I think it's always good to look at things from a different perspective. Everything that the movies we've seen are more through the eyes of believers, and they're very much, I believe, similar to the stories we read in the Bible. We always need to go back to the Bible after watching any movie because it is one person's opinion.
Okay, right. I've seen it too. I know there's things in it that are just made up, but for me it left an impression of what it must have been like to go through that experience, the time after Jesus' resurrection and before he ascended.
Yes.
It really captured something.
I think it did. And it shows, for example, Pilate sending this Roman soldier out to the crucifixion to be sure there's not a lot of trouble. And then later, the Sanhedrins talked Pilate into sending the same soldier out again, looking for the actual body of Christ, because, of course, the followers of Jesus are saying that he has risen.
Okay, well, it sounds fascinating. I hope people will come and join us. It's going to be on Thursday, August 11 at 9:30 a.m. in the hospitality room of the Village Church at Shell Point. We'll hope to see you there.
Thanks for joining us today. On tomorrow's show, Ruth Duber will be showing us how to cook monkey bread. And Bev Chandley will talk about this fall's trip to Jekyll Island, Savannah, and Charleston. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Tuesday, August 9th. I'm Adam Brown, thanking you for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.